Give the goofiest.
You like the cheers. So, remember like when you were a kid?
Good job.
That's right. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Let's See Where This Goes From Here. As always, your hostess with the mostest, Missy and me, Miguel, are here to give some insights, discussions about pretty much anything and everything, including running and other mishaps in life. Missy, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing
How?
well. Yeah. Feel like not much going on right now, but we're in the end of April and May is going to be a crazy month, I know, for you, and it's ending up to look like a crazy month for me.
Yeah, May. It's gonna be rough. But
Yeah.
yes, end of April, so end of spring training seasons for most people and spring training races. So Boston was in May, and then you had Oklahoma City was this weekend that just passed, and that's always a
Yeah. I remember
big
seeing that.
spring race here in Texas. Although that wasn't DRC's goal race this year. It was Tennessee, and then obviously they had the Tennessee marathon, half marathon. It was a rock and roll race. That was yesterday, and I was reading up on that. So we had a lot of friends be at that race yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a little more personal insight to that race. But I was reading up on it just because they were there, and there's 23,000 people registered for those races yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But I also didn't realize one, they do them on Saturday as opposed to the normal like Sunday marathon, half marathon day.
Yeah.
But they do on so Sunday they have a 1 mile like dash race and like a pet race on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only Sunday race. But Saturday they do their 5K, 10K, half marathon, and marathon distances on that day. So they had 23,000 people running, and it was hot. It was hot. It was a hard race, from what I heard. Although Pam did great. She
Pam
PR'd
did
by 1 minute.
great. She PR'd. She wore her fabulous shoes, and you need to share that picture of her that she posted.
Oh my goodness, I have to find that one.
Yeah.
Let me.
So our
Yeah.
friend
Let me.
Pancakes, she's amazing. I mean, we
She
have to
is.
have her on at some point. But
We
she
do.
posted this picture of her with this jump, and I was like, "That's my favorite picture. Good job, Pam. Very proud of you, and I love that picture."
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
It was that jump was after she just did a half marathon and PR'd. Right. So
Yeah,
like it was like one of these like super jumps, and I'm like, Jesus, I can't
yeah.
jump that way even before I start running.
And then
So
and even that route with all the hills and the heat, and that was great.
yeah, no, it was but she did a great job. Lisa also ran. She acknowledged that she has to do some more hills because I hear that. So part of the challenge with that race yesterday was it was very warm, it was very humid, and it's not that they have these ginormous mountainous hills, but there are like just hill after hill after hill. So it's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
rolling hills on top of each other. And here it goes. Hold on. There's a lot of stuff that has to go on here. We gotta poor Pam. I don't know if she realizes that we're doing this.
Sure. I mean, it's a
um,
great picture. How I don't see her being upset.
it's a fantastic picture, and she
Mm-hmm.
was wearing the new Alpha Fly 3s. I think she just did that to make fun of me. She wanted to make sure those shoes were really being accentuated in the shot. She's like, "Look what I got, Miguel, and you don't have."
Yeah.
Um,
And I
but she
PR'd
did a
in
great job.
Asheville.
She did. So she did a great job. We had some friends running the full, and that was really tough for some people. Ugana did she finished? Great job,
Yay!
Ugana. Yeah,
Congratulations,
I know
Ugana.
that I know we talked about it on several instances, but she worked really hard for that race, and she
Yeah, she
hates
did.
hills.
Yeah.
She makes no bones that she does not like hills. But she did a fantastic job. So great
Hmm.
job, Ugana,
And she
for
has another
finishing
marathon under her belt.
and a
Yeah.
very difficult one, especially because of
Yeah.
the hills and the heat and the humidity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realize that many people ran that race. That's a lot. It's a lot. That's more than Dallas. It's more than
That's a
Dallas.
lot of people.
They had some
That's a
logistical
lot of
challenges
people.
though because of it, from my understanding. So my understanding there were so many
Oh.
people and it was so warm. The water stops were running out of water.
Mm.
They had several medical emergencies. Unfortunately, and it's rare, but it does happen. Unfortunately, somebody did pass away while running that race yesterday. No names have been released or anything. Obviously, families still being discussed and talked to, and just whoever that was, condolences and prayers to that family because they have to deal with that. And that stinks because
Hmm.
that person was going there to do something that they love doing. Runners love running. If you're running a race, it's because you actually love running. And while it's cool that that person was doing something they love, it's unfortunate that happened. So
Yeah. Miguel,
while
do
we
you know
don't know
what
that
race
person,
that person was running?
I don't know what distance they
Mm.
didn't say, but they did. The article did say there was a couple of articles on it, but they did say that the medical service provider that was out there had several medical emergencies that were
Oh,
going on. Of
no.
course, it was just hot.
Yeah.
And that happens. All
Yeah.
right, let's see if we can share this screen again. We're doing this for the
Yeah.
second time
And then I
already.
want to see what their times were too. Let me look it up.
Yeah. Are you sharing your screen right now?
Me? No. I don't think I
That's
have that
weird.
option.
Right now, neither do I.
Oh, really?
It's not letting me. It's saying somebody else is sharing their screen. You're the only someone else.
Mine just says recording.
That's weird. Because usually a screen pops up on mine. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh well. I can't seem to show it. Sorry, guys. We were going to try and show you the awesome picture of Pam, but there's a ghost sharing our screen right now.
Damn
Sons
it.
of bitches. Sons of bitches.
Damn
But yeah, no,
it.
it was congratulations to everybody who ran and finished, or even just ran Nashville. If you didn't finish, you know what? It's just one of those things that happens to the best of us, and there's always another race. There's always another race. So you know what? If you weren't feeling it yesterday and you needed to pull out and just take it on the chin, so be it. Good job, everybody who did finish. Good job to everybody who ran and didn't finish. It doesn't matter. You can run another race. There's always more races. So we are proud of everybody who ran that race yesterday. But yeah, now on to May. On to May. We still have that trail race in May.
We do, we do. I was just gonna look up what their times or what her time was for that race, and she did good. So on Strava, which is probably different than her Garmin and her official, but I'm guessing it's close. She did it in 2 hours and 32 minutes at 11 minute and 26 second mile.
That's
Pretty cool.
awesome.
Yeah. So
Pam,
this just show this. I don't know if y'all can see it here, but that's Pam. This is Pancakes. She is amazing. She is so fit. She is who
she
we all
is,
want to
and
be.
I want it when
Um,
I grow up. I want to be Pam.
I know.
And the problem is, and Missy always laughs at me because we're always going out to eat, and Pam is there, and I'm like eating the most gross shit on the menu, and Pam's like, "I'll have this delicious, healthy stuff," and I always say to Missy, "I'm like, Pam's gonna live forever.
She is. And
Pam,
she
Pam,
looks so damn happy there. That's what
she
I
is, she
like.
is,
Look
she
at
is."
that. I just
So,
love this woman. Love her. Love her. Love her. Love her.
but
Well, and
good for
also,
her. And
yeah. And this is her and Lisa um, at the finish in
yeah,
Nashville.
Lisa also
So,
was. Lisa was our first guest ever, so you guys
hmm
are kind of familiar with her if you listen to our
yeah.
episode 4. She went down there also to run the half, and Sheldon did the full. I wonder how Sheldon did actually. I think he did the full. I could be wrong.
No, no, he didn't go. He watched. He
Oh, he
stayed
did.
home, watched the dogs. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Lisa's
Oh, and
traveling
this is
solo.
Luann. I don't know if so Luann, congratulations, Luann. She's a DRC member too. She this is her first
Her
marathon.
first marathon. So yes,
Yeah, so big congratulations, Luann.
good job. We love
She's a
that.
fast runner. Yeah.
We love that. We love
Yeah.
that.
I like those medals too. Ooh, those
Yeah,
are cute
no,
medals. You know, rock and roll always I feel like does really good medals. That's the
they do. They
half,
do.
and then this is the full.
Wow, that's
You know.
awesome. Good for her.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
love first time marathoners because they'll never be first time. It's not one and done is a myth. It's like
Oh.
I'm never gonna do one again.
Well, not
Most people
I
end up
think
doing them.
if I can remember, my brother did a marathon. I thought it was a marathon or was it a half? I thought it was a marathon. He's like, I'll never do it again. And
Did
he
he?
hadn't. No.
Oh well, good for him. There you go.
Nope.
Missy, I just need Missy's bloodline to dispel anything that I have to say. That's how it works. But yeah. So now May's coming up. Race wise, we just have that trail run in Possum Kingdom
Yeah.
in May. We still got to figure out some of the logistics for that. Like, what are we doing,
Yeah, we need to talk to Mel.
dude? I'm stressing out about May. Like, just from a personal level. Like, I'm like, there's so
Oh,
much
I thought
stuff
you meant
going on,
like
May.
talking, stressing
Not
about
the
it. I'm like,
not
why
the
are you
trail
stressing
run.
out talking to Mel?
No, I love Mel. I don't have a problem with that or you guys. It's just,
Yeah.
I'm going to Oklahoma City
Oh,
next
that's next
weekend.
weekend? Okay.
Yeah. And then
Wait, when are you leaving?
I'm just Saturday afternoon.
Okay,
It's a
because
one. It's like it's an overnight only because. So I'm going to see a concert. I'm going to see an AJR
yeah.
concert.
Okay.
That was like my son's first concert. We're kind of going. Actually, it's almost 2 years to the day. So it was 2 years today that we saw the first concert of AJR with him for his first concert, and then we're going back next week to go see it in Oklahoma City. He's a big fan. Although I do like AJR also, so I have no shame in saying that. And so we'll leave here at like noon on Saturday, and I should be back before noon on Sunday because it's just I don't want to drive there. It's like a 3-hour drive. See the concert.
Mm-hmm.
The concert's gonna let out at like 10. and then drive back to Dallas because that's another 3-hour drive. So I'm like, I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
I'll just stay overnight. The Omni is right across the street, so it works out well. So,
Okay.
And then, oh man, I feel like I have something going on the 12th. I don't know. But then the 18th is the weekend that we're running Possum Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And then the weekend after that, Miles officially leaves elementary school, and it's his birthday weekend, and it's Memorial Day weekend. So that becomes a very busy weekend. And then just work-wise, people are starting to take time off because kids are starting to get off of school. So you get busy having to cover. And it's my busy season at work.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Well, home buying season, home shopping season.
Okay.
Is usually in spring because the thinking behind it is everybody wants to have that house bought and moved in, especially if they have kids, because they want their kids to start the new school year in the new school district that they're going to be moving into. So it always gets busy around this time of year, but not as busy as it used to be, but it still gets busy.
Yeah.
Rates are rates, man. Rates are rates. So, but yeah, and then also now, we were talking briefly before we hopped on. So I know Pam and Lisa are now having a little bit of trouble getting back home from Nashville because of all the weather that we've had here in the Midwest and South, just because of tornado season. So there was, I know Oklahoma had a few tornadoes yesterday, and I think the governor of Oklahoma is trying to do a state of emergency just because there was a lot of damage.
I think I heard like 2 people were killed and a child or something.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, that's Tornado Alley, man. It sucks. But yes, so there was tornadoes in Oklahoma yesterday. I feel like there was tornadoes in Omaha on Friday.
There was. I seen something on the news about it. Oh, sorry. With this, it was huge, and it was on the freeway, and like cars are still driving. I mean, it was insane.
They're trying to get the hell out of Dodge. They don't want to be around.
No, they were going towards it. I don't know why.
Oh,
yeah,
no, that seems silly. I would not do that. Storm chasers, maybe.
Well, these are regular people on the freeway.
We're talking about those tornadoes, but Twister 2 is coming out this year in the movies. Summer.
You know what? Never seen the first one.
The first one was fun. It was fun. Although most of those people are either not here anymore or super old. But yeah, so that was just May's gonna be busy. And then
it's gonna be busy. And then something else just popped up on my calendar for.
What do you have cooking?
Well, we know what I'm doing next or the Friday.
Oh,
yeah.
I got you.
And then that okay, so then it looks like everything's cool the week from the 5th to the 11th. But then the 13th, there's a possibility I may be in San Antonio for a few days.
Business or pleasure?
No, it's my sister will be in town from Alaska. So she'll be in San Antonio for a conference. So she's like, you should come down. And so we'll see. I haven't decided yet if I'm able to do that or not. But then the week after that, I'll be out of town for work, and then going to see my best friend after that.
Oh, you going to
LA? Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Yeah. You guess so? You don't know if you're going to LA?
Well, I mean, I'm not
planned.
Well, no, I won't be necessarily in LA. I'll be like in Santa Barbara.
So, okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah. California. How about that?
Yeah.
The hat threw me off. That's what it was.
Oh.
So, yeah, no. So, as far as races go, and then, the funny thing is once May is over, you really got to, so you're running Marine Corps again this year, and then we have a bunch of people running Berlin. So that's it. June comes
Berlin
in.
And New York.
Yes, Berlin and New York. So those are all early fall races.
Mm-hmm.
And June is like that time to start getting teed up and get your miles back up to start training at the end of June, beginning of July. So it just bleeds into each other so quickly. It's like, man, I feel like
it does. And it's weird since
I'm just busy.
Well, I've never had maybe a busy month, but it's just a busy month this year for me. But also it's weird since I'm not doing Fargo, I don't really have to run, and I have not really been running. I think I've been maybe running 3 to 4 miles a week. That means one run.
Yeah,
or maybe 10 miles a week. But
I've only been running twice a week, and they've been shorter runs. I ran 6 miles yesterday.
That was good.
And I went to the lake and we did 6 miles.
Mm-hmm.
They were having a race down there also. They were doing the Tal Morrison.
So glad I didn't do that. Because it was because here it's been all stormy and everything all weekend and week or whatever it seemed. And so yesterday or no, what did you run at Saturday?
Yeah,
Yesterday?
yes, sir.
It
Mm-hmm.
was it was so humid out in that morning that I was like, oh hell no, I can't believe you guys went out and ran it. But
It was
um
well, we intended to loop the lake, which is like a 15K, right? So over
mhm.
9 miles, and then we said you felt it. It was just thick. You felt like you were running through cedar.
Wow.
So we both discussed that we would just do about 6 miles. Annabelle's like, I just need to get an hour, and I'm like, that's fine, we'll get there.
Okay.
And so we did that, and then we did see, like, we saw Vicky running. Angela Finnegan was on there. We saw a bunch of DRC people running, because it was there.
It's a
Theirs was
DRC
like
race, yeah.
right, but it wasn't a complete like out and back. Well, it wasn't out and back, but they didn't circle the lake and they didn't go into the neighborhoods. They did the entire thing on the lake, but they did like a U-turn. So I think they U-turned at like mile 9 or something like that, if I remember it right. I don't know. Because we saw a mile 9 marker, but we didn't go much further past that. So I don't believe there was a mile 10 because, again, they were not looping the lake. And it was just, and it was weird because we were running and we got out to about 3 miles and then we turned back around to do hour 6. And all of a sudden the wind picked up and it was so windy. Like, it was like you were just running into a wall. And like I was telling you yesterday, like, it was so windy to the point where I was pushing hard against the wind to run. And then I started breathing through my mouth a lot harder. And the wind almost made me feel like I was gagging. It was just like really that windy all of a sudden for like about, not the entire 3 miles back, but for like maybe 15 minutes or so. It was annoying. So, but that's weather. I mean, you got to deal with that. Just like you have to deal with hills and no hills and whatever else comes your
How I
way.
deal with that is don't run. And that's what I chose to do.
Not
run.
No.
Well, no.
We got 3 weeks before that trail run.
I'm not worried about that damn trail run. It's only 8 miles.
It is, but you guys made me seem like that's going to take me like 5 years to finish.
Well, it's going to take hours to finish, yes, but like you're not like running the whole thing, right? I mean, because you have to climb and jump and walk
Lisa
sometimes.
said it was very technical. I don't know how she does that or not, or if she's run it before, but she said it's a very technical race. So,
but
we'll see.
So I'm not worried about it. I just know no matter what, it'll be sore afterwards. But it's what it is. It's just like, I don't know. It's like a hike.
Yeah, I guess.
I know.
So, Missy, speaking of concerts, I'm going to a concert next week. You've gone to concerts.
Yeah.
Do you? You go to them. You plan to go to them, so it's not like I'm going to get some tickets today. Right?
Yeah.
Do you, when you go to the concert, do you look at the playlist beforehand? What the set list is? No? No? I'm a very prepared concert goer.
That's a guy thing, I think. I just go to be like, I know that they're going to sing, whoever is going to sing the songs I want to hear, and I'm ready for it. No, it's all a surprise. It's like just a fun
I don't want that
experience.
I need certainty. So
how do you even find that freaking playlist, what they're going to do at a concert? Because sometimes it's impromptu.
Nah, these things are productions at this point. Like, you can go and see. They may deviate a couple of songs, but for the most part, the flow of it's going to be how it's going to be. So
well, I get the majority of it is, but
you Google it.
No, why would it's like I don't want to like ruin my surprise.
No, I want to be prepared. I want to be able to sing, kid.
All right,
get out there and just jam out. Well,
I think you can do that anyway.
I can.
But real quick, back to our run. And since like no Fargo, so I obviously have decreased running anyway. But what I have been doing is upping my strength training workouts, and not necessarily like I'm noticing a difference in like any like okay, this is how I notice a difference. I notice like my planks are getting longer. I can notice like I can do more push-ups. I notice like when I do certain things like with strength with my legs, they're stronger. So that's kind of cool. So I'm curious on how that's going to be for when I start training. I'm looking forward to that.
Do you like the strength training? Are you starting to like it a lot
more? I'm making it kind of more consistent. So it's just kind of like a thing now. Like, and even if I do like 30 minutes, I'm like, okay, well, let's do 30 minutes. 30 minutes is better than no minutes, right? And so I'm trying to do it 2 to 3 times a week. And so what I'll do like today, right? Went and walked the dog. And then after that, I was already kind of sweaty because it's humid and stuff. And so I'm like, okay, well, perfect time. Let me just do 30 minutes of strength training. Then I can shower and be done with my day. So I'm getting better at it. It's not like a drudgery thing I'm doing as much anymore.
I like it. I'm like I said before I came to Texas, and when I lived in New York, I did run, but shorter distances. Like I said, I never did anything more than 5 miles, but I used to work out more, like more gym. So when I came to Texas, I was a lot physically stronger, and I miss that. But I find it's so challenging to run all the miles you need to run, but they say you have to do it, and I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have the time to do it. My runs would probably be a lot better if I did it, but I do miss strength. So I am going to the gym tomorrow. I've already set up everything. I've already set up all my stuff in the morning to go to the gym tomorrow in the morning when I wake up. So I'm going to do that.
See, I guess I feel like it's been easier because I decide now I don't like get upset with myself if I'm like, okay, if I don't go to the gym, like I can do something at home and
Yeah.
it'll still be as challenging or whatever. So I just kind of let that mind go. Like I don't have to go to the gym. If I go to the gym, I make it. Yay. If I don't, I'll do it at home and I'll be happy with it. So that is
Well, I miss swimming also. Like now when I go to the gym, my cardio, because I run outside, so I'm not going to use a treadmill at the gym.
yeah, I
But
don't
my
do
cardio at the
cardio at
gym
the gym.
is typically swimming now. Is what I'll do. I like swimming, so that doesn't bother
Yeah.
me. But I miss the weights. I miss the weights.
I did.
Maybe at some point. Go ahead.
Oh, it's just yeah, I did swim a few times a few weeks ago, and it felt good. But you know what pissed me off is I forgot my goggles, and that
That's bad for me because I swim with my eyes open, so it's awful.
yeah, we'll see. So I didn't even put my head in the water. I just had to do like
You
above,
were
which
turtling.
it sucked because it was like I like to because I wasn't my swim bag. I didn't have it prepared like I normally do, but
Yeah. I no, I like to swim. I do swim with my eyes open, and I would not be able to swim above the water that way. So I would look high as
Wait,
shit
but you wear
because my
goggles,
eyes
don't
would be
you?
bloodshot. I do, but if I ever
Yeah,
forget
okay,
them,
that's
that would be bad.
yes, yeah, okay, because
I also have to wear. I also get the worst case of swimmer ear now for some reason.
Wear
So I have to put. I have
plugs.
to put. No, I do.
Oh,
And I will not. I will not swim laps. Now listen, if I'm going to the city pool with my son and we're just hanging out, I don't care about plugs and because I'm not really diving or swimming like that, right?
yeah.
But if I'm doing laps in a lap pool, I am. Oh, I'm sorry. Is my story boring you?
You know, it was a cloudy, gloomy day, and then now I went outside to let Jagger out, and it's beautiful outside.
Yeah, it's a little sunny
It's
outside
sunny
now.
and nice, and I thought it's gonna be humid and gross, but it's not that bad. But anyway,
No.
sorry.
Well, it finally broke. It was. I mean, since Friday, it's been very muggy and just gross outside. And even this morning, it was pretty muggy and gross. So, if those of you don't know, if it's cloudy outside, Missy needs to take a lot of naps. She's
It
like,
does. It just makes me like power down, and I give into it. I'm like, yes, I'll do it. What you say.
Her little solar battery doesn't get enough light, so she sleeps. Yeah, no, but I do miss working out. I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll be switching from running to like, hey man, I went to the gym and bench press a bus today. I'm getting a little older. I don't know if I'm gonna be bench pressing buses, but I used to lift heavy though in New York. I mean, my last press in New York was 290. It was not bad. I think that's pretty respectable. You know,
yeah,
I'm a small guy. I'm not very big.
I don't even know what all that is. I mean, I know what you're talking about weight, but I'm like, that's not what I do.
I know. We'll get you there.
But I'm going to try to increase my swimming though, at least maybe 3 times a month. I can't even say once a week because, just crap goes on and sometimes I don't want to deal with my hair. So
there's that.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to figure out what the hell to do with this kid for his birthday. It's another thing.
Did you ask him what he wants to do for his birthday?
He just like, I just want to have these people. Just invite them. I'm like, yeah, but what do you want to do? And then he throws all kinds of weird stuff out, right? Some of it's like real plain Jane. He's like, we'll just have people come over to the house. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then sometimes it's like, oh, maybe we can do a movie. I'm like, well, that's not awful either. And then he's like, maybe we'll go to Pinstack. I'm like, the last time I went to Pinstack, that cost me a lot of money for a birthday party.
I bet.
That hurt. Now, listen, it was mostly because of his mom, because we ordered the food for the kids, and I wasn't not trying to get food for the adults, but like she was ordering like plates. I'm like, slow it down, homie. This shit's coming out of my pocket. Like that Pinstack bill cost me almost $1,000.
Wait, if it's like, does he have adults come to his birthday party?
Well,
now?
The parents of the kids.
Yeah, but he's like, is he gonna be 11?
No. Yeah, they gotta stay.
Oh no! Like,
yeah, you have these kids here forever.
Who's I dropped my kid off at a birthday party. I'm not staying. Y'all are doing some weird shit, man.
You got to be careful. Most of his friends' parents are pretty good, but sometimes you get like a one-off kid who wasn't really part of the group, and their parents are like, "Oh, I'll see you in 13 hours." It's like,
no, we don't only invite people we know.
Man, we went to the park on Saturday. Not on Saturday. Early this week. It was Monday. It was Monday this week. We went to the park after school, and a bunch of the kids and the parents mess. I'm gonna apologize because I'm gonna be blotting my eyes. My allergies are so bad right now because of all the wind, and I'm just tearing like I'm crying.
Don't cry. It's okay.
I know it's
You'll
sad.
get
So we
through
were at the
this.
park, and we won't use any names. All the kids shall be nameless. But there was one kid, and he was a you feel bad. You're like, I wonder how this kid's gonna make it through high school because he was so weird. He was so bizarre. He was like asking if a certain kid was coming, and he's like, "Oh, is so and so coming?" And we're like, "We don't know, right?" And then we found out that that kid was coming, and then he's like, "When are they gonna get here?"
Hey, what
And
was
then
going on at
like
the park?
they were just playing. It was just kids hanging out at the park after school,
Oh, okay.
right? And so then it was like, oh, do you have so and so's phone number? And I'm like, even if I had this kid's phone number, I'm not giving it to you. If they don't want you to have it, I can't give it to you. And then that kid eventually showed up and their mom was there. And then he's like, "Are you so and so's mom?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Does so and so have a phone?" And she's like, "Nope, so and so doesn't have a phone." And does so and so have some way to communicate? And she's like, "Nope, so and so doesn't have any way to communicate. She doesn't have, they don't have social media. Does so and so have a bedroom?" I'm like, "All right." I said to him, I was like, "That's a weird question, man. That's a weird question." Right? You know what I mean? But it was weird. And I was like, I forget that there's always like one weird kid and I feel bad for him. I almost want to like
Mm.
mentor him to not be a weirdo, but he's not my kid. And you may not. He seems like he'd be tough to mentor out. But I forget how weird kids are sometimes, even though I have kids,
Okay.
So, did you ever have that with your son? Any of his friends?
Yes.
Did you?
Yes.
I feel like your son's like super cool. Like he wouldn't have that problem.
No, he had weird friends, and I told him, like, I don't like that weirdo.
Just like that. Like, weirdo.
Yeah. I'm like, he's weird. He's
That's
like, he's
funny.
nice, mom.
Yeah, we don't. You just don't want to take time to know them. Come
I'm
on, you
like,
met
no,
him
I
out when
don't,
you were a
because I
kid.
don't care. I
You
don't
became
care.
you became your parent. You became your parents. Your parents are that way too, right? Fucking weirdo. It's
My
different, but
it was much different with my parents.
that's fine.
Much different.
But yeah, so now, I sit here and say you guys got to get your miles up. I guess if I'm going to be running with you during the summer, I should probably start getting my miles up too.
I'm not concerned. Every year I start training,
I am.
and it's like, okay, 9 miles. It's what it is. I don't train to get up to 9 miles because I feel like no matter what, we always have nine
Well, that's
miles
your
in us.
pace. Yeah, that's a muscle
So
memory.
yeah,
You're
so it's
right.
just
You're right.
no, I'm not gonna.
But
I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna do strength training. I'm been eating better. Those are the things I'm doing to start this new training season.
I'm concerned a little bit. I haven't run a full marathon since December of 22. And while I don't have a full marathon to run this year, I will be training with you guys because you're my people and I want to be there to support. So I will do those long
Because
miles
you're
with
gonna have
you.
FOMO if you don't.
I will have fun. But I can
You'll
always just
have
show up with water like I
FOMO.
did last year.
You'll have FOMO, but you're gonna want to
Like
run.
I am. I did miss running
You
last year, but
probably won't
I
want
just
to run
wasn't.
18 miles, but you'll run.
I know. You know, I couldn't run it last year. That's why I was so excited to give you guys water and stuff along the way because it was just good to see everybody. But I
Yeah.
wasn't physically able to run
Yeah.
18 miles at that point.
Yeah.
But it's like, oof. I'm gonna see how that
Oh,
works.
so one of our faithful listeners, Lisa, remember when I said my son was doing the training plan and I couldn't remember the name? So Lisa
Yes.
told me what it was. Let me pull up her text. She said it is the Hal Higdon race plan, and she
What is
said
this?
it's a very long-standing program. So I looked it up, and
Okay, let's hear it. Let's
and
hear
I
it.
know one reason my son liked it is because you didn't start at 9 miles, right? You start
Okay.
at 4.
How
Yeah,
many weeks is the training program?
yeah. Hold on, let me get to that here. Where are we? Okay, so like I put 30 weeks.
That's why. Because
Yeah.
our training programs are typically between like 18 and 22 weeks or 20
Is
weeks or
it?
something
I
like
thought it
that.
was 16 weeks.
It's not
Yeah.
30 though. He got
No,
to
I
start
know,
training
but
now.
because that'd be July, August, September, October, close to 16 weeks. Maybe,
Yeah, you
yeah,
may be right.
yeah, yeah. So, but when I looked at it though, he'd be running like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week? That ain't for
That's
me.
Well, you
But
say that, but our program is 5 days a week with one strength day and one off day,
all right, well, like
or cross train. They say, I guess.
I only run 3 days a week. And I
I know.
realized because I did try to do that one year, right? I tried to run every the whole schedule, and it hurt. I got it was too much on my body, my older body. So now I can only do 3 days a week. But anyway, so actually it starts off at 3 miles, my bad.
Okay.
So just say like the first week, 3 miles on Monday, 3 miles on Tuesday, and it says 3 times hill. So I don't know if it's just doing 3 hills or what, but I didn't look into that yet. And then a 3 mile run on Thursday, 30-minute tempo on Saturday, and then a 6 mile run on Sunday. So it's and it goes, yeah, for a whole 30 mofo weeks.
Wow. I mean, shorter start as far as starting miles, but a longer training program. I guess it's like a couch to 5K. I mean, a couch to marathon. It seems like.
Yeah, I just think that whole I'm trying. Okay, so it doesn't until it gets to like 9 miles is like on week 14. So I guess it's
Let's
just
see.
like hmm. But that
Yeah, actually.
I don't want to run every day or at least 5 days a week. I don't want to do
So I just
that.
pulled up. I pulled up one here. I don't know if it's his. It's just when you Google it. Let's see.
Well, that's all I did. It's Hal
Oh, yeah.
Higdon.
Yeah, you're right. 3 miles,
And he
five
has a
miles,
different whole
3 miles.
bunch of different training programs.
It's funny that you talked about hills because I'm going to run this week, and I'm gonna do hills when I run. That's going to be my run for the midweek.
Where are you
Hill
going?
training.
Oh, okay. So hold on real quick. So that was, I pulled up he has a whole bunch of different marathon plans. So that was marathon
Mm-hmm.
training for a personal best. That's what I did for mine, like to do a better time. But you can do it as like a novice. He has all these different types. So maybe he might not be doing that one. No
Okay.
sé, bebe.
Well, sometimes it's good to change it up, though. I know that. Um,
Oh, wow. So they have Novice 1, Novice 2, Intermediate 1, Intermediate 2, Advanced 1, Advanced 2, Novice Supreme, Personal Best, Senior, Marathon 3, Boston Bound, multiple marathons, alternate marathon, and the Dopey Challenge. Huh. It's kind of interesting.
they're preparing you for the Disney run. It seems like
Well, it looks like it. Yeah, you could do that.
that's funny.
Would you consider it? Would we be intermediate?
Yeah, because we have a base, like you said. We can just out of pure muscle memory, we can do 9 miles.
Yeah.
And then gutting. You can probably just gut out and muscle out a half marathon if we needed to. It
Well,
wouldn't
I
be
mean,
fast.
kind of did, right? When they did
Right.
that
That's
one
what.
with Lisa and Tam some weeks ago.
Yeah. It's not. It wouldn't be fast, but it wouldn't. You're not going to die from it because
Yeah.
you've run so many miles. Like I said this at one point. You remember when we went out for Erlen's birthday run in December?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so Miles came with us, and he was starting to get a little tired because he hasn't run in a while. So for him to do a 5K after not having run for months, he was starting to get tired near the end. And so Ugana and I were actually near the back talking to him. And I said to, Ugana's like, yeah, it's so good that we can do this. I'm like, well, you got to realize at this point we've run so many miles. We may not be fast, but we're borderline professional runners. Like we have a completely different mindset and skill set and experience level than somebody who's just starting out. And somebody starting out can still be faster than me, but I just have so much more experience. I know so many more things as far as preparing, equipment, nutrition, coming back from injury, courses. How do you handle elevations? How do you handle temperatures? Like a novice doesn't know that. Um,
Mhm.
I may have said that when I was talking about the first time I ran the Dallas Marathon, my first marathon ever. Did I tell you about the pacer? Because we were running with like the 5 hour pacer.
Mhm.
And she was funny because she's like, oh, she gets the group together in the corral. And she's like, okay, guys. She's like, how many people? Is this their first marathon? And a lot of us raised our hands, right? And she's like, okay. And everybody's clapping because it's their first marathon. And then she's like, how many people is their second marathon? And she's like, again, you get like a little smattering. And then they're like, how many people is this their third marathon? And then you got a little bit higher, some hands. And she's like, you guys know what you're doing. Because by training for three
Mm.
marathons at that point, you've run so many miles, you
Yeah.
kind of know the different. Training is hard. Training throws a lot at you because you don't expect it. But the more you do it, not that it becomes easier, it becomes the surprises are a lot less. You just know what it's hard. It's hard, but it's harder when
Mhm.
you don't know it. So a novice runner, doesn't understand. They may be more athletic and quicker, but you know, I've been through more train wrecks. at this point. So, yeah, you're an intermediate. I mean, you have enough knowledge, enough skill set. Like I said, you've trained, you've paced people, Missy. You've trained people to help get through a marathon. You have knowledge. So you forget that sometimes.
Well, no, I mean, I paced, but I didn't really feel that I was trained to pace. But it worked
No, well,
out. Did it.
there's
Got it. Yeah.
I think the basis that they feel that their pacers have enough experience, but there should be a little more mentoring across the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's our job to mentor the people that we're pacing. Maybe the race and training directors or whoever wants to be the director of that club should give some mentoring towards the pacers, so that they're it's just passing it down, right? Everybody has a
Mm-hmm.
level of experience, and you pass that down. That should probably happen a little bit more, but
Yeah.
chaos is
And
chaos, I suppose.
and you know what though, because we talked about how we may do training differently this year. I really
Yeah,
want to ask our listeners, have any of you done the method where your long runs, you split your long runs? So say you have to do a 16 miler as your long run. Were you did you ever do it where you ran like 6 miles on Saturday morning and then 10 miles Sunday morning, or, split it up to get that distance? Because that's something I'm really interested in doing. Just because, when it gets so damn hot here and the heat just takes everything out of you, and it makes it for a miserable run. And so I was just curious if anyone has done that. And I still have to research that because I am interested in maybe trying that out, or for at least maybe half the training. But I'm curious.
for sure. If anybody, actually any training plan that's different, like we'd love to know how you train for a race. Like what's your like if you're doing a marathon or a half marathon, like how does it ramp up? Like Missy said, are you doing split runs where, 10 one day, 6 another day, or 6 one day, 10 another day? Are you just worried about getting the accumulation of miles? If your schedule says you have to run this many miles this day and then this day and this day, and you just add it up and you try to bang all those miles out. Like, how do you do it? I know there's multiple
Mhm.
training plans. You have this Hal Higdon. I don't really know what DRC does, but we have the DRC training plan. I know there's a Jeff
Well,
Galloway
we know
for
DRC
run
doesn't do
walkers.
that. DRC just does the long runs. They don't split
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
right. But I mean, it'd be interesting to see because, I mean, I know a little bit about the Galloway because I've trained run walk, and I was curious how he did it, so I looked into it. We very loosely follow Galloway, very loosely, but we follow it, and obviously, I'd like to see I'm always fascinated to know, or even what's your favorite run. Like I'm going to do hills on probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I like hills. Some people hate that. Some people hate doing hills. I like running hills. I almost want to just run hills
Where
all
are
the
you
time.
running? Where are
I'm
you
gonna go
doing your
over the
hills?
Kings Gate off of Marsh
Oh,
over there.
okay.
Yeah, that's where I'll run it because it's easy. I can do a quick
Hmm.
half-mile warm up and then bang
Yeah.
out a few hills. I won't do too many. I'll probably do like 4, maybe 5. I won't do more than that though.
Okay.
But yeah, just get some hill repeats in because I was reading up on that, and that's really a strength exercise
Hmm.
in regards to running. You actually strengthen your calves, your hamstrings, your quads, your glutes. Um, so if you didn't want to go to the gym one day, just do a bunch of hill repeats. Find a good place you can go up and down a hill, and that would
Yeah.
be that could replace an actual leg day at the gym. Supposedly, that's what they say
Hmm.
because it's just very hard. Um, and supposedly it also helps increase your what Vox 2 or whatever it is, VOX 2.
VOX.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Supposedly that helps increase that too because you're doing cardio and strength at the same time, so you have to be more efficient in your breathing, and that helps improve that as well, from my understanding. So
Hmm.
I read that and I got remotivated to want to do hills again.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be sick. I'll do it on like I said, Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I'm really undecided on what I'm doing on Saturday because I'm not leaving to go to Oklahoma until about noon. So I'm like, do I want to get a run in Saturday morning and then drive up to Oklahoma? Probably. I'll probably do that because
Be
again, I'm only gonna
nice.
do 5 or 6 miles.
Yeah, that way, your legs aren't, you're not just sitting for
And
your
here's the thing:
legs.
so I'm not Miles and I are going, but my daughter and my son-in-law are going also, and they're adults, so I can always sleep in the back. I
Oh,
don't have to.
wait, by driving, you're going to let them drive your car? I thought you said nobody
Nobody,
drives your car.
nobody drives my car. Nobody
So
drives
how
my
does
car.
that work then?
We may be taking Jade's car because she had that surgery and she has her little scooter, her little knee scooter in the back.
She has her scooter.
She does. I bought her a knee scooter because she didn't want to use crutches, and I
No,
can
I get
appreciate
a
that.
scooter, but I'm like, oh, that sucks. So are you guys do you get to sit in the handicap section?
Well, I bought seats, so there was no like general standing or like lawn seats or anything like that. We actually are sitting in seats.
Are you as oh, it's
Um,
like an amphitheater?
well, it's in a Paycom arena, so it's a stadium. It's like a
Oh, I
not
thought you said
stadium.
lawn seats. That's what or
Well, I'm just
something.
saying like there's no like because you can do general admission where you're standing up in the front,
Yeah.
right? But we didn't do that. Like no, I would have done that, but we didn't do that because she had the surgery. And I knew it was coming, so I bought row A, like the first row of seats.
Is she
So we'll
gonna
sit
be
there.
able to get up there with, has seats,
Yeah,
in the
yeah. It's
stadiums
a
or stairs?
it's it's a modern arena. They have
No, but you can go, you
ADA.
can have elevators, right? But once you get into, because, on your level, you got to go down or
Yeah, she
upstairs.
and truth be told, she's supposed to go to the doctor tomorrow, so she may actually get cleared from not having to use that scooter.
Mm.
So she's hoping so. We had to go to Shields yesterday. My daughter got me for a lot of money yesterday. Actually, she got me for a lot of money. She's like, "Dad, I want a coffee machine," and I'm like, "Why does it have to be so fucking expensive?" But I don't know. Whatever. I paid for it because I'm a chump. You reminded me of that earlier.
You are a chump.
I am. I am.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to my kids, I am a
Mm-hmm.
sucker. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which is funny because I don't get shit like that for myself.
I
I mean,
know
outside
you
of running
don't.
shoes,
You all I
I
hear
know.
is like, I don't have money. I don't have money. And
I'm
then
fucking poor.
you tell me what you buy these kids, and I'm like, actually, you do.
Uh,
You do.
well, it's for my kids. I have money for my kids.
Do you,
I don't have
baby?
money
Do
for me.
you?
But yeah. And then she had to go. We went to Shields. That's the first. Have you ever been to Shields? That Shields up in the colony.
Mm-mm.
That shit is massive. It's a cool store. Like it's way better. Like people like Dick's. No offense to Dick's, but Shields is fucking ridiculous. It's awesome. It's very large. I felt like because it's right next door to that Nebraska Furniture Mart, which is also
Mm-hmm.
it's like a small city of
Mm-hmm.
home goods. It's like the Nebraska Furniture Mart of sporting goods. They have
Oh,
everything in
really?
that place. Their shoe section was outstanding.
Do they have runner shoes though? Like our shoes?
Yes,
Oh, they
they
do.
absolutely. They didn't
Huh.
have like they don't have the Alpha Flies, so you're not getting those
Oh,
there. But
well.
they had all the other Nike shoes besides the Alpha Fly. They had the Vaporfly there, so you could have tried the Vaporfly on. They had Ons, they had Asics, they had Brooks, they had Nikes, excluding the Alpha Fly 3. Because I checked, you know what I mean. They had a lot of the major running shoes there, and they even had a section that said our favorite race day shoes
Okay.
in that running. And then they had regular not running shoes, like just walking shoes or
Mm-hmm.
hiking shoes, hiking boots, things like that. It was very impressive, just the shoe area. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they have a Ferris wheel in that thing. It was huge. It was
Mm-hmm.
huge. We didn't get to go too far because again, Jade's on her scooter, so we didn't want to have her dragging around this massive store. But there was a lot of stuff in that store, so it was pretty. I may go back without her, where I can roam freely. But we went there also. She ended up getting she got a pair of Hoka shoes. I think she got the Cliftons. She got the Hoka Cliftons to
Mm.
walk around in, and then she got the ASIC Nova Blast 4s to because they were just very cushioned and very supportive for
Mm-hmm.
her because she's coming back from that surgery. So
Mm-hmm.
she bought those. I did not pay for the sneakers, but I went to Shields because I've never been. It was
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. So I may go back. They did have it, and you can try them on. They say you can run up and down the store in them and stuff like that.
What's
So
their
it's not
return
just like
policy?
I do not know that, so I
Oh,
can't comment as to what that
I'll have to
is. I was
ask
talking to
Pam.
Pam about that. That's why I was talking to Pam. That's how we got to knowing that they're not out of Tennessee yet because they're getting delayed. Because I was asking her about where did she? Because Pam is the queen of like trying on shoes and then returning them if she doesn't like them, and good for her. She's really a motivation for me. But I was like, where do you do that? She said Fleet Feet. Like you can
Yeah.
get them. But she had said Luke's. So the Fleet Feet store does not really carry a lot of the super shoes. You have to get them online. But then you can
Yeah.
try them on and then bring them back. But she said Luke's has most of the super shoes, so you can go to Luke's and you can try them on there. And if you like them, then you can order them from Fleet Feet. And then if you don't like them, bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
That was her. That was her strategy to me. Sorry,
Okay.
Fleet Feet and Luke's, but you guys have been hustled.
No, I mean that's because it is like if you're gonna spend $300 on a pair of shoes, you want to
I
make
know.
sure you can wear them, and so it's just what it is.
It is a lot. It is.
Yeah.
We touched on that very briefly at the end of last week's episode. It's just
Mm-hmm.
getting expensive. Like
Yeah.
race fees are getting expensive. Running, sneakers are getting expensive. I need them to start trickling some of that super technology into the lower shoes because that always happens. Like you get like the original Alpha Fly is now like in their Zoom Fly shoes, like their Zoom Fly 5, Zoom Fly 5. That's a tongue twister. So they do eventually start moving like the original shoe into like some of their lower models, like some of
Mm-hmm.
that technology. I need them to get the Alpha Fly 3 into like a more affordable model for me. Please, Nike. Although I was very adamant, I'm gonna look for a different shoe. I can't, I actually was talking to Annabelle about it yesterday. It's stressing me out. Like I'm so stressed over a pair of sneakers, and this is stupid. Like I'm just gonna find another pair of sneakers. Like I'm breaking up with that sneaker, and I'm gonna start dating another sneaker because
But see, I feel like
it's an
you are
abusive relationship.
very, very loyal to that. I mean, for the Alpha Flies, yes, but like me, I mean, I remember I think I started in oh, what are those? It started with, I was at a M,
Mizuno's.
Mizuno's, and then it's like Mizuno's, Brooks, Asics, Hoka's, New Balance, like because every year they have changed on me. So it's usually I can do like two, maybe 1 year and a half of this of like the same brand, and then
Mm-hmm.
when they do the next brand or the next season, you try that shoe and it doesn't work, and so then I have to switch a different brand. So I'm not
Yeah.
loyal.
Well, so
Not
I've run
loyal.
8 marathons, and I've run them in 4 different pairs of shoes. So my first marathons, I ran in a pair of Newtons, and I was actually able to try those on. So believe it or not, this was a thing with Jose and Althea and Julie. We were at Lifetime Fitness. They had a Newton representative come to the gym and bring shoes for us to literally run a 5K in, right? So
Hmm.
I did run. I was like, oh, this is interesting, and it seemed pretty cool. And I did run my first marathon in that, and then I ran my second marathon in a pair of Brooks. Um, I don't remember the model, but I've actually saved all of my marathon shoes as a weird like memento thing. I have them in like a bin
Mm,
in my closet, so I could look
not
it up.
me. Once they go down to my gym shoes and then to cleaning a car shoe and then out the door.
So then I ran my next 3 marathons in Ons, and I did 2 marathons in the Cloud Flow, and I can't remember the last one I did, but I ran a third one, and that's the one I qualified from New York. I ran in that one, and then I ran my last 3 marathons in Alpha Flies.
Mm.
So that's what it was, and it was a great shoe. The Alpha Fly was amazing. I remember the first time I wore that, and I was like, "Wow, like this is easy. This is easy all of a sudden, right?
It was a
Or easier."
definitely, it made you felt a difference. And that's the thing. I ran New York in the Alpha Flies. I ran, I thought, another race in the Alpha Flies. I can't remember, a marathon maybe. And then I ran Marine Corps in my Gaviotas.
Mm.
And that wasn't that, so I was like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that
Jade tried
again.
those on yesterday.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I do I like them for training, but for a race, I really love those Alpha Flies.
and
They're
actually, now that
just
I'm thinking about it, she didn't get the Clifton. She got the Bondies for Hoka. She tried on the
mm,
Gaviotas, and she didn't like it. So then she ended up getting the Bondi because it was like super plush for her. And that's what she
yes,
wanted.
and I like super plush.
Yeah, so the Bondi, the Hoka Bondi, if you like a super plush
Oh
shoe.
well, I see the Gaviota is still it's a stability shoe. That's what I needed at the time because remember us
Yeah,
having plantar issues. Yeah.
she didn't like it, and
Hmm.
so, but I may go back to Shields and try those Nova Blast on. They seem pretty plush. They seemed like it had a sizable chunk of cushion on
Now
that
Nova Blast was that is that
Asics.
oh
Asics.
I used to
Pam
love
wears those.
Asics. Yeah, I
Pam
can't
wears
wear them
them.
anymore. Mm-mm.
So I may try that. But yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta find time. This is gonna be a busy week. So maybe not this week, and definitely not next weekend. So maybe 2 weeks. I'll get back to Shields and give them a go. Don't go on Saturday.
Oh
Don't even go
hell
there.
no. Mm.
Well, we went Saturday afternoon. It was bananas. It was like holy
Yeah, I
shit. There's a
mean
lot of people here.
people just hang out there. I mean
Yeah.
like
Well, that whole
no.
area is very
Yeah.
it's bougie. Lots of fancy restaurants now and big stores.
I
They have
don't
some
know
nice
about
restaurants out
fancy
there.
restaurants because
I
I
did a
mean
loan for
there's
one of the. There's a I can't say the name of the restaurant because privacy, but there was a restaurant out there, and I did a loan for this guy, and he gets paid well.
oh
He was like a
alone. I'm sorry. I thought no,
yeah.
I didn't hear
No,
that. Okay, gotcha. Mm,
I wrote a mortgage for that guy, and
mm.
he got paid. He was relocated from Colorado, but he was making like 150 grand a year to be a chef out there. So those restaurants are pretty decent. At least they pay well. So,
But being a
but yeah,
chef, man, you have no life.
yeah, I don't think so. I don't think
Mm-mm.
he seemed pretty strong. It was very hard to get documents for him because he was always busy. It was really hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was the biggest kickback as far as like, dude, you got to send me these documents or we can't close. But he he was tough. But
Mm.
speaking of work, when are you traveling? When are you traveling for work? You said.
The third week in May.
Where are you
Yeah.
going?
Well, I wasn't trying to get all my business out there.
Well, I feel like why am I just finding this out on the podcast? I didn't know you were leaving to go away.
Well, I told you I was. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. The third week in May, going
Okay,
to Chicago.
nice.
And then from there,
I need
SB.
to know these things because as of right now, I know Tuesday is the only day I can't get a hold of you during the day because you're in the office.
I'm in the office 2 Tuesdays a month now.
Oh, how'd you get that
Yeah,
half price discount?
we just said it's
Okay,
bullshit.
not doing it
No,
anymore.
it's bullshit. Why do we have to come in 4 times a week or 4 times a
I
month?
do. I don't. I work from home almost exclusively at this point. I go into
Mm,
like I had to go in not that long ago to do an equipment swap. You know what I mean? But I
mm,
have to go in next week because I got to change my password. And I remote into my desktop at work because I have an office at the office, and
mm.
so I have to remote into it. And I can technically change it remotely, but then certain things don't sync right. So I'm like, someday this week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll go into the office and change my password there. But I take the time then, like because I write stuff all day. When I talk to my people on my team, I'm constantly writing notes down, and so that's my time to pick up like pads or if I need paper because I print
Mm.
some stuff out here, so I'll get like a ream of paper if I need it or something like that for work. Um, but yeah, so I don't mind it too much. It's only once every 3 months. I know.
I prefer not at all because it seems like a waste of my day.
Oh my goodness. Although I am more productive
It
at home.
is.
I am more productive at home because when you're in the
Yeah,
office and there's people in the office, they're all talking to you, and it's
yeah.
like, but then you realize you enjoy talking to them, and then nothing is getting done. Whereas I'm at home, I'm just focused on doing what I have to
But
do.
my biggest gripe is it takes me more time to get ready in the morning and drive there. I could already be working for an hour and a half.
So you're funny because you make fun of me because I get ready every day.
Well,
You'll like call me like, "Ooh, like, why are you all dressed?" I'm like,
I mean, I brushed my teeth and I shower and all that kind
"Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah,
But
me
my
too."
hair, yeah, it doesn't always have to be done unless I got something going on. I don't. It doesn't have to be done right then, right?
Well, you know what it is though. Even though I work remotely, some of the people on my team actually will Teams call me like video chats, and I just don't want to look completely trashed. I want to have some. I want to be semi presentable.
No.
You know what I mean?
If it's not a scheduled meeting, there is no on camera. And I feel like if you're gonna Teams me, you can
Mm-hmm.
still have the courtesy to be like, or like an audio call, be like, hey, do you got some time? Schedule it with me. Don't just call me, but that's what people do. I think it's rude.
They do.
I
Fucking
think it's rude.
jerks. God
Yeah.
damn it! Just no spontaneity. We don't need that spice of life.
No, because it's just like, come on. Like, it's not hard to just chat you. Hey, Missy, tell me no when you have 10 minutes or something. And I could be like,
You know what
okay,
you
right
are?
now. What?
You're a millennial. Like you know how like you text somebody and they call you. You're like, don't call. Just text me back.
I do.
There's no reason to hear my voice
Like, I
anymore.
don't do voicemails anymore. Yeah. I just like, if I call and you don't answer, I'm like, hey, call me back.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I actually get mad. I will say that if someone calls me and leaves me a voicemail, I'm like, I'm not gonna listen to that voicemail,
But you know what
right?
the great thing is? You don't even have to listen to it anymore. You just go to it and it'll, you can read it.
Well, on your phone, but
Yeah.
my desk phone is forwarded to my cell
Oh,
phone, so I
well,
will have to dial into that, and that's annoying.
see,
It's
I don't even,
frustrating.
okay, so this is the thing. When I go to the office, okay, because I started there in during the pandemic, right, 2020. So it
Yeah,
basically, I was
same.
just gone there and got my equipment and came home and set up. I have never had an office phone there. So
Uh,
they use my cell phone
as
as
your
my
contact,
office phone. And so,
got you.
so check
Do
this
they
out.
do they pay you for that?
And so
Some people give you comp.
I didn't set it up for months, right? And then my VP kept saying, "Hey, Missy, I noticed you don't have your phone set up, for email or." And I'm like, "Do I have to?" And he's like, "Well, it's really it makes it easier." And I'm like, "Oh," and I still didn't. And then he just kept asking me, and so I'm like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." But anyway, but yeah, no, they never gave me a phone, so I use my cell phone. I try to just do everything over Teams, but so this has happened to me. I had a lady in Arizona who I have I have some calls with, and so she called me and we talked about whatever we need to talk about. And she's like, "Oh, by the way, Missy, I love your new picture." And I'm like, "What?" And because on the iPhone when
Oh, it's your
you
cell
call
phone.
the picture, and I was like, She goes, yeah, I'm so glad you changed it, she said.
You realize you can actually disable that, right? Like if
Right.
I text somebody new, or even if I change it, it says, "Do you want to update it?" And I can say no.
Well, I don't know how she sees it then, because it's not like I mean, I know that, right? But like, because
Yeah,
it does give me that thing, but I don't know she sees it, and I don't. I guess I don't. Maybe I have it on as it. Whatever. I guess maybe I have it on for everything, but because I don't think about it, because it's my cell phone. And then so
right.
she was like, "Oh, I'm so glad you updated your picture," and it's like, "Oh, was it offensive before?" I didn't think it was that the previous one was that bad. And then she's like, I just love it. It makes me so happy. She goes, I told my kids I want my picture to look like yours.
It is a good picture though, because it shows up on my phone when you call. It's a good photo. It's a good photo.
I love when she said, I'm so glad you changed it.
I didn't want to tell you before. I didn't like the last one.
I'm so sorry. But I'm like, oh, but then you know what? Verizon did send me an email that you can get a different phone number for your phone. I didn't know that.
So like your phone has its own phone number.
I can have two phone numbers for this phone, and so it's of course $10 a month, but it's not worth it for me because for to do that for work unless maybe they paid for it. But like I could do that then that way I would know like I don't they're not
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. Interesting. I don't know. I've had AT&T forever, like forever and ever. I'm
Well,
just not
same
going to
with
leave it.
Verizon. I've had it for like 20 some years now.
So we're getting close to wrapping up, right? Before we go, so a couple of things I'd like to expand upon on things that we've done in the past on past episodes. So we did have one episode a couple episodes ago where we talked about like etiquette situations and we talked about like weddings and the plus ones, if you remember, right?
Oh yeah.
I felt that was a fun conversation for us. So that being said, I don't have anything to talk about today, but if you, our listeners, or Missy, or if I find one, come up with like an etiquette situation, hit us with that. I would love to like hit a couple of like how would I handle certain etiquette situations, because I have bad etiquette, so it'd probably be ridiculous, right? Missy's the more proper one.
No, I think you have very nice etiquette. Like you said, you go to and stay at 10-year-olds' birthday parties. I'm out the door. Get out.
Well, not all
See
the
you in a
time.
few
Like
hours.
Miles right now is at a friend's house. I will go pick him up when we're done here. But Miles said he's hanging out. You know, he actually got extended because I was going to pick him up earlier, and then the mom said, "Hey, all the girls are here, so they want him to hang out longer." I'm like, okay, and then they were getting some dinner, so I'm like, okay, so I'm going to pick him up afterwards. But they kept asking because they don't have school
Yeah.
tomorrow, which I just found out. I don't know why. I check that calendar. I check that calendar all the time, and it is not on the calendar. And then the principal sent out a message. We use like an app communication for the school, and they sent out the message in that app yesterday afternoon saying, "Oh, just remember that the 29th is a student holiday." I'm like, "But why?" But so Miles doesn't have school tomorrow, so I'm not in any rush to
I
get
would
him
hate
because
that. That would piss me off because they'd be like, all of a sudden these random days they don't have. Look, why do you not have school?
I
Why?
know, I know.
Why? Why can't?
He's
Why?
gonna,
What? Oh, it's an in service. It's a da da da. It's a da. I'm like,
yeah, I know,
my
I know.
God.
He's not going to be able to sleep late tomorrow because I didn't realize he didn't have school tomorrow, so I set up for the HVAC company to come and do like the spring tune up for the summer, and the drop down for the attic is in his room, so they're going to be in there. But I wouldn't have
Cares? He's
honestly.
10.
I wouldn't have done that if I knew he had school.
Oh my.
I mean, if I knew he didn't have school, I would have let him sleep. But
You're
whatever, I don't
nice.
care.
You're too fucking nice. I'd have been like, you
I'm
can
very
sleep in the
courteous.
other room.
So
I mean, that's one thing I
so
guess
there's
I'm listening to us on these podcasts, and when you talk about the shit you do for Miles, which obviously you're a great dad, right?
well, thank you.
And for Jade, but like I'm like, no fucking way.
It's a
No, that
different
fool
time
can
though.
sleep on the goddamn couch if I have shit
Jade
that needs
didn't.
to be done.
Jade reminds me all the time that she didn't have as good as Miles. And I say to her,
So
"You
maybe
didn't
she's
have it
making
bad."
up for it now.
I know. I was like, "But you didn't have it bad." Well, now that's what it is, right? She's like, "Oh, well, if Dad's doing this for Miles, he's got some JD money,
I don't do
right?"
that to you, Jade. Good for you.
You
Good
do
for
not. You
you.
do not encourage her.
No,
Do not
I'm
encourage her.
good. Hell yeah, get it.
Don't encourage my daughter. So anyway, etiquette questions. If you guys, if our listeners have a question, and it could be so off the wall, I don't care. Let's get an etiquette question section in here. I think it would be fun to do. Also, etiquette, yeah, because it's social
Why?
etiquettes, right? Why? Why not?
I don't
Because again, you're prim and
know.
proper.
No, I'm not. Like I said, I don't even. Why would I only stay at a birthday party if he's like 2, not 10?
I really would just want to hear how little Missy's give a fuck is in these situations. It's really what it is. It'd be fun. So there's that. Also, TV shows. If anybody's watching, I don't watch a lot of TV, but I feel like I should watch more shows.
It's
I just finished
hard.
watching after I went to San Francisco. I went to San Francisco back in March, and I went on a tour bus, and I know I spoke to this. The tour guy said, "Hey, there's some cool shows, and there's a show called Warrior, and it's on
Warrior.
both HBO Max and on Netflix.
Oh, it's on
Right?
Netflix now? Oh,
It
okay.
is on Netflix. It looks like to touch on that. It looks like Warner Discover, who owns HBO, they gave a lot of their content to Netflix. There's like a lot of the DC movie, like the superhero movies, are on Netflix now. The
Hmm.
Warriors on Netflix. There's a lot of like HBO or Max stuff that's now showing up on Netflix. Warrior is
Yeah,
one
it's
of
called
those shows. So
Max
if you have a
now.
Max subscription or if you have a Netflix subscription, you can watch it on there. I will tell you, I'm not going to spoil a lot, but I will tell you, it ends abruptly because it ended at the end of season 3, and it left on a cliffhanger.
Wait a
But now they're
minute.
not.
It's no more of a show? Like they're not coming
Yeah,
up.
I guess they're not renewing it, and it's a victim
Oh.
of the whole writer strike and the SAG stuff. And now I guess
Oh.
they're not renewing it. And the actor, if you Google it, you'll see the actors are like, we'd really like to get that 4th season in just
Yeah.
to finish and have closure because they really loved those characters that they were playing. And it was a great show. But
It's a
now I'm
great
mad.
show. It's a great show. I
I'm
see. I still haven't finished watching the third season yet because I like you talk about watching shows, but honestly, where's the time for that? Because I don't like if I'm watching a show like Warrior, I want to sit and give it my full attention, right?
I know.
And so half the time, like a lot of times when I'm watching shows, it'll be background.
Hmm.
And so I don't have to, if I miss something, it doesn't matter because I've already seen
But
it or something.
yeah,
But I
it
did
is a
not
great show
know
though.
that. That's so
It does.
sad.
I loved all the characters in there. I thought it was a good
Yeah.
show. It does. It's like 1800 San Francisco or early. I think it's
Hmm.
18, like late 1800 San Francisco. It's awesome. It was a good
Hmm.
show. It's a martial art flick, but it really shows like how immigration was impacted and affected back then.
Hmm.
It was a good show, but I'm like I put some energy into a show. I never watched TV, and now I'm left with. I have TV show blue balls right now. That's what I have.
Hmm.
You know.
Oh, but guess what is coming this summer? It's not Game of Thrones. What do they call it?
Oh, House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon comes back. Remember?
I
Okay,
know.
that that fucking show. So they did it right. The prequel they did, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden, like, we'll be back in 2024, like 4 years later. You're like, are
I know.
you kidding me? You're like,
It's so
don't do
awful.
that shit. Like,
It's
just
just that's
build
what
a.
kills me.
Yeah.
You know, people shit on like traditional television, like CBS, like regular cable television, right? But those people pump out shows like I mean, CSI is like a 22 episode
Oh
season.
wow.
You know what I mean? And it's been around forever. But
Hmm.
you get onto like look at Stranger Things. I love that show, and it's been like 2 years, and I think it's coming out next year. It's not even coming out this year. I think the last season of Stranger Things is coming out next year. These kids are going to be they're going to be married. Like you're going to marry them at this point. They're going to be so old, right? Um, I watched The Witcher on Netflix. Same thing. Takes so long to get out. Game of Thrones was hard. Like they weren't spitting them out every year or every like 6 or 9 months. It was like every 18 months to 2 years. That's what House of the Dragon. But I
Hmm.
am looking forward to that season coming out.
Yeah. Hmm.
Although I will tell you, since those things come out on streaming services, I don't watch initially
See,
because I'll bang
yeah.
out 2 episodes at a time. So I wait until they're like 6 or 7 episodes into the season, and then I'll start watching.
Yeah, it
Um,
depends. It depends. But yeah, because it's hard to do it like every week because it's all of a sudden you're like, oh shoot, the show's on or whatever. But I do
we're
like
a
to
binge watch
binge it.
society. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
a binge
I
watch
like to
society now.
binge. Yeah.
So TV shows, etiquettes. If you guys have any you want to give us, I'd love to have that conversation. Things coming up, we are working officially on a guest. We do have a guest coming up either next week or the week after. We're just trying to iron out scheduling, believe it or not. And I also I did see Sarita and Ashley at the lake yesterday,
Oh, okay.
and I gave Sarita a little shit, but I love
For
her. I
what?
love for you know how her and Erlen have besmirched us.
No, it's
We'll just
mainly
leave
Erlen.
we'll leave it at that. I know.
Erlen
Fucking
doesn't
Erlen.
like us anymore. She has
She doesn't. She
new
hates us.
friends.
And then well I was talking to Ashley, and I was I didn't realize Ashley was coming back from an injury.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so her and Sarita were doing very short miles. They did 4 miles yesterday together, but it was great to see them. I love both
Mm-hmm.
of them, and I love Ashley to death. So Ashley did say she'd like to come on sometime.
Yay,
And I think
Ashley,
she'll
we
be
would
fun.
love to have
And
you.
I would love to have her. And it's good because it'll be an interesting topic. I know we've talked to Sarita about it, but we don't get her on the show. But it would be interesting to hear how Ashley comes back from injury, because she's usually been very like healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's taken some time. So I'd love to talk to her about that. And just she has a good story also. So she's awesome people. So we do have a couple of guests working on. And we're gonna do our first food session at some point on this show. I did get said food, although it's gonna take forever to get here.
Honestly, I thought you ordered that like weeks
I
ago.
didn't. I've been procrastinating,
Um,
and because that shit wasn't cheap. It was just like I was taking my time. But I did order it yesterday, but they said it's gonna take like 7 business days to process, not even deliver.
well,
And
it's coming
it's
from
coming from
Australia,
Australia.
so
I
yeah, it's
know,
gonna take some time.
but I'm super excited to do that. So it's gonna be fun. We'll sucker somebody else to get on and have some Australian delicacies with us. It's not a delicacy. It's marshmallows, but it's gonna be fun.
Oh, you shouldn't have gave
Um,
that away.
I know, but I don't want them to think we're getting like it's a dingo. We're gonna eat a dingo. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Or like we're gonna start blowing didgeridoos or whatever. No,
I
it's
don't
fun,
even know what
but it's
that
gonna be fun.
is.
I'm not gonna. It's a like that big,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that the Aborigines
Okay.
use. But no, it's gonna be fun. I'm not gonna get into what kind of marshmallows they are, but it's marshmallow. It's a marshmallow. It's gonna be fun. So that'll be fun to do. So we have some stuff cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, race wise, we're getting close to our trail run, so we'll probably tackle that once that happens, and I'll tell you guys how OKC goes next week.
Oh, your concert. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm thinking. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I'm
No,
sure
no,
it'll be
not that.
fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a good time. And then I think I only have one more concert this year. I realized like my live events this year, 2 concerts and 3 baseball games. I'm really excited about the baseball games. Get to see my New York Mets live, and it
Yay.
makes me happy. I hate the fact that you don't love baseball the way I do. The Dodgers play their baseball team. We should
Okay,
see.
these are Dodgers.
We should see when they come and play the Rangers and see if we can get tickets.
I did have gone to Dodger
I don't
games
I don't
in
care for either one of those
LA.
teams, but I would go. I love baseball in LA. I
Yeah,
heard it's I know that
I
Dodger
had a
Stadium is
Dodger
one of the.
dog. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say Dodger Stadium is one of the older stadiums in baseball right now,
It
but
is.
I heard even for its age, it is immaculately kept because the Mets actually just played the Dodgers last weekend, and so during their broadcast they were showing like all these little parts of Dodger Stadium. And they said like it's an older stadium, but like the parking is done in such a way that you park in the level that you're sitting in, and the stadium is so well maintained. Though even though it's an older stadium, it's just gorgeous. So I would love to do that. And honestly, speaking of that, so Annabelle and I were running yesterday, and her boyfriend are going on the Great Baseball Stadium tour. Their goal is to go to a game at every stadium in baseball.
Wow.
So they just got back from. That's why she couldn't come to us to Lisa's birthday dinner.
Oh, okay.
They
Okay.
were in Detroit to see Detroit play, and then they went to some concert in Milwaukee or something like that. I don't know,
Oh, cool.
maybe,
Okay.
but yeah. So they were at a baseball game, and they just didn't get back in time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, that'd be fun to. I'll do a Dodger game if they come to Texas if you want. Why not?
I don't care. I mean, I've been to the Rangers games too. I mean, like going to live games is different. Like I can go to any live sporting event.
Event.
I just don't care to watch it on TV. So yeah, I've been to a Dodgers game in LA. I've been to Rangers games here. Yeah.
Next time we talk, I'll tell you how I accidentally sat in Jerry Jones's box for a Cowboy game.
Okay.
I was underdressed. I will say that. I didn't know. But I did. It was like a Forrest Gump moment. It was like, hey, everybody. They had all the Dr. Pepper you could ever want, right? They really did, along with everything else. They had all the Dr. Pepper I wanted.
But now he does Pepsi all at in Frisco. So that's because I love Pepsi, right? I prefer
Okay.
Pepsi over Coke. And so when we're at the Star, any of the restaurants, Jerry
Mm-hmm.
has Pepsi in all of them. No Coke
Does
for
he own that
you.
entire? He owns the restaurant area too.
He owns that whole thing. Yeah.
That whole complex. I did
Uh-huh.
not. I know he owned the stadium. I didn't know he owned all the
Because
restaurants.
from where I'm at, I can see the Cowboys practice when they're practicing,
Oh wow.
and then you can
That's
see.
that's where you work around.
Yeah, I work at over by
Oh, I
Star,
thought.
and then
Okay.
you can also when he comes in on his chopper,
Mm.
he comes in because he lands over there. Yeah.
You actually work like 5 minutes from where Jake works.
Oh really?
She's on
Oh
the other
okay.
side of the highway. She's literally on the other side of the highway,
Oh okay. Oh.
off of Warren over
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah. All right, kids. Well, we're getting ready to wrap it up. As always, we appreciate you listening. I want to hear any ideas. As always, you can email us at let's see where this goes from here at gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, you can put them on the YouTube page. Send us a like, send us a subscribe, send us some love on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and everywhere else that we post. And we appreciate you guys taking time to listen and hear us just chit chat idly. But we want questions and anything you guys want us to talk about. At least I'm open. Etiquette questions, Missy doesn't really care about, but we're gonna do it anyway.
I'll talk about it.
But Missy, anything you want to say on the way out?
Nope.
All right, kids. Well, with that being said, Miguel and Missy out.